Hello guys, my name is Shomallo Khan and today I will be showing you a basic project in Python. So this Python project is all about combining several Excel sheets. Several means I will be creating 2 to 3 Excel sheets and then we will be merging those Excel sheets into a final Excel sheet, and we will be doing this, achieving this by executing some Python script. Now, what are our requirements before moving into the project? First of all, number one, we need to create one Excel file. Not one, we need to create some Excel files. We need to create some Excel files. After that, we will be requiring a package. That package will be responsible to create an Excel workbook, and also that package will be responsible to create within that workbook some Excel spreadsheet. And using OS, I will be fetching some folder directory and retrieving files from that folder. So that library package is openpyxl. openpyxl. That package name is openpyxl. This package I will be using, it is to Excel file. Okay, so this particular package is responsible. It has a method to work on with Excel file. Now also apart from this, we will be installing this with the help of pip. And while installing this particular package, I faced some issues. I will be discussing with you about that issue. After that, we will be using Visual Studio Code to write the Python code and then execute it, followed by executing that particular Python script. And let's begin. So first of all, we will be creating a blank folder in my desktop. So Control Shift N, it basically creates a blank folder, and I will be naming this as Excel project, Excel. So I'm achieving this via Python, so I will be naming it also Excel Python project. Okay, so let me open up this particular folder. My right clicking is not working properly. Okay, so my laptop is working slow today. So inside this we will be creating a simple Excel file. So new Microsoft Excel worksheet. Okay, fine. Okay, so I will be naming it as, say, maybe a student database, a student details. So his name is Shomallo, and that particular file will be having these kinds of data. Okay, so for some reason my computer is running a bit slow today. Okay, fine. So let me select whole of the sheet and make the font maybe 26 would be fine for me. And then in this particular range of cells, I'll be giving for the first row, it would be student name, then student role, maybe candidate name, candidate role, and maybe candidate date of birth, and the data would be given here. So let me give it a color, maybe a neutral, and let me apply all border, and these data will be okay, fine. So let me give the names. Candidate is still taking 11 as the font size. Okay, let me select whole of the sheet one more time, 26. Still I don't know why it is taking 11. Anyways, I'll be doing it after creating the sheet. I'll be writing candidate name, followed by candidate role, and finally his date of birth. So date of birth, and he has scored some marks in some subjects. So let me merge these two cells, merge and center, subjects and marks. That will be the heading. So Bengali 1, Bengali 2, English, then physics, no, mathematics, physics, chemistry, biology, and finally additional. Okay, fine. And let me give it a color of maybe green. Green would be fine for me. It might look nice. And let me give it a border, all borders. Now let me give the name to the subject. So Bengali / Hindi. This is paper 1. So paper 1. Similarly Bengali / Hindi, and it would be paper 2. Paper 2 followed by English. Then he will be having maths and also physics and also chemistry and biology and maybe additional. Fine. So let me make this a little bit more bigger and also give it a color. Maybe blue would be fine for me. Let me select the whole of the sheet and make the font. Select one more time, 26. Okay, fine. Let me make this a little bit bigger. This a bit smaller. No, it's not working. Ctrl Z. Okay, fine. So let me make this column a little bit smaller. This a bit bigger. Fine. Now let me write the names. His name is Shomallo and maybe Khan, and the candidate role is he's from maybe St. Stephen's School, ST, and his role is 0032, and date of birth maybe 10, and then maybe 09, and maybe he has born on 1994 and 1994. Fine. Let me put some random data. So these data will be of 2 series, so 22, and then let me drag it all the way to the down and right click here and then fill series. Fine. So one copy of data has been created and this copy of data is for Shomallo. Now let me save the file and close it. Save. Fine. Now I need to make a duplicate copy of this one. So maybe copy and then Ctrl V. So copy. Let me rename it function F2. Okay, not function F2. Only you have to press the key F2, function F2, function key 2 to rename it, and his name would be Ashish. So this data is for Ashish. Let me change the data. So Ashish Bardhan maybe, and he is from St. Stephen's, but his roll number is maybe 042 and he is from section B, so B and maybe 2, and his date of birth will be 11 and then 3 and then 1990, and this series would be of 44. So let me copy the data all the way to the down and then fill series. So second data has been also been created. Let me save the file and close it, and let me make a duplicate of it. Ctrl C and then maybe Ctrl V. So let me press again F2 and his name would be maybe Roshni, maybe Roshni, and let me give a detail to her. Let me put in the details. Roshni maybe Pradhan, Rashmi Pradhan, fine, and her roll number might be 021B. No, she's from section C, and her date of birth maybe 21 and then maybe 02, and she is from 1996, and let me make this series of 56 and then drag all the way across to the down and then click here and then fill series. Fine. So let me also close this one and save the file. Let me make another copy. So Ctrl C and Ctrl V. Let me paste couple of times. Ctrl V, V. So finally I will be making all these copies. I will be not making any more copies. So let me give this a name, maybe Ajoy, and Ajoy's detail has to be also to be filled. So Ajoy Pramanik, fine, and his roll number might be 022B, and 11, 3 and 1994. Let me make this series of 72 and drag all the way across to the down, and then fill series. Fine, close the file, make a save to it, and then Roshni, okay, Ajay, Ashish, Roshni, okay, fine. So maybe Shivashish. Let me fill in the details of Shivashish also. So Shivashish, and give him a name of Nag, and his roll number might be maybe say 02, and he is from section A, and give him a date of birth maybe 01 and 03, and his date of birth might be 1998. Fine. Let me give him a series of say 45. So 4 series has also been filled up, so maybe what to 11. Okay, no, 11 is too low, maybe what to give, say maybe 66. Let me give it a series of 66, drag all the way across to the down, and then fill series. Let me close the file, and I need to create one more last copy of it. So this is the last one, and I'll be naming him as Shomo. So Shomo's detail is the last, he is the last student whose detail is to be filled. Shomo, Shomo Dash maybe, and his roll number is he is not from St. Stephen's, he is from maybe HM Edu, and his roll number is 01 B maybe, and his date of birth is 12 and then 01 and then 1998. Fine. So 97. So he is the maximum scorer. We can safely conclude that this is a good school, a better one than St. Stephen's School. So that's all upon some assumptions. So we already know that there is a installer pip. So pip is a package installer which installs some package for Python. Those package and those API modules should be used by Python code to execute something. So I have already written in my notepad that we will be requiring a particular package openpyxl. So if we open up Python, so this is a Python shell. If we click on this and here, if we try to install something, this is basically a Python shell or Python interpreter where Python script is executed, but pip is not something to be executed, it is an installer. So we need to open up command prompt, and we need to locate where where my Python is installed. Where Python, let me see where it says. So I have two versions available with me, Python 3.11 and maybe Python, this one maybe Python version 2, it might be so. So let me copy this particular path, Control C, and then I need to move into that path. So let me press here Control V, and let me clear out this one and press enter. Then I have to move into the script. See here, I will be finding the pip installer. Is there something pip? See here. So pip is present in here. So I need to open up command prompt in this location, and then I need to install that particular package, the pip install. Now I am asking pip to install openpyxl package. Let me press enter. It will take a couple of seconds, and depending on the speed of your internet connection, it would be could not find a version that satisfies the repair openpyxl from version none. Okay, no distribution for openpyxl. Okay. So okay, I think I am writing the name a little bit wrong. This is not XYL. It's openpyxl. Let me press enter. Let's see what happens. YXL. Okay, fine. So I wrote the name of the package wrongly. It's openpyxl. Okay, it's easy to remember. Open Python, openpy, and then Excel. Fine. So my and if I want to see view what are the pip, and then I need to write pip versions, pip packages. So pip pip versions packages. I need to write so what are the pip I have installed, what are the modules I have installed with pip. So I think the script is pip3 and then list. Let's press enter. Let's see what happens. Fine. So it's pip3 list. So pip3, this is the pip3 version, and what are the packages that I have already installed on my local computer. All of those packages are being shown. Now I need to say here it is openpyxl. So this package has been successfully installed in my local computer. So I don't need this command prompt anymore. I need to write the code. For that reason I need to move into the Visual Studio. So let me roll back to that. Okay, so these are the files that are to be merged. So let me open up Visual Studio and write the code that will, Python code that will, when executed, the Excel file should be merged. So that was the motive of our this particular video tutorial. So let me close all of the files which are presently open in here. So let me close all. Okay, fine. Then make a new file. Maybe I'll be naming it as Excel with Python. So Excel Python.py, and we need to import first of all before. Okay, so it's still not opening up. Okay, it has opened up. I need to import something. So I need to import these two things. First of all, import OS. Apart from that, import openpyxl. Fine. Now I need two variables. So this folder variable will be basically what it will be doing is that it will be holding the path to locate the Excel files. Where these Excel files are being located, that particular path would be stored inside this variable. So let me copy this path and paste it in here. And also I will be discussing about one particular one particular problem that I faced while developing this program is that this single slashes it is a escape sequence, so it doesn't mean anything to the Python compiler. So we need to, what to do is that we need to, from to convert it from the escape sequence to the path variable, we need to give a double slashes. This is one hindrance that I faced while running this project for the first time. So it will be looking, so inside this folder variables I am holding the path where all of my Excel files are being present. After that I also need to tell the compiler where the output file will be saved. So I will be pasting it, I will be saving it in the same folder. The folder where the Excel files are being present, I will be saving in that in the same folder where all the Excel files are present, and I will be naming it so those are the master's data and these are the merge data. So maybe merge master, maybe I will be giving an underscore. I don't know whether underscore will be working fine or not. Let me give a space and see if some error comes up. We will be debugging it later on, and its extension will be Excel SX. Fine. Now let me jump into the program. So I need to create an workbook. So output workbook, what it would be doing is that output workbook would be created by openpyxl. I told you that openpyxl is something which creates a workbook. So workbook has been created. Now I need to create a sheet also. So output sheet equal to this particular workbook, open workbook, here this one. Let me make it active. So within this I will be making a sheet. And how to make a sheet? So active, okay, fine. And that particular sheet would be having a name. So the name would be this particular name which I have given. Control C and let me paste it. So it is a string. That means I need to place it within a double quotation. Fine. So let me comment it out. So this is for the uh, file creation and path set. Fine. Now comes the cells from where the data is to be fetched. So this particular cell would be, so I will be writing cells and it would be taking the values from. So I need to take a look into my Excel sheet. Let me open up any of the Excel sheets, and the data should be from the B2, B3, B4. So let me first of all write B2, comma, B3, comma, and then B4. Apart from these three cells, it is also fetching data from E5 to E12. E5 to E12. Okay, E5 to E12. Fine. So E5, then E6, and then E7, and then E8, and then E9, and then E10. Okay, E10, and finally E11. So let me okay, E12. So there is another one, E12 also. So E12. Okay, let me close the bracket, and there is a mismatch in this braces thing. Okay, solved. Fine. Now the program logic to create the program logic. Fine. So the program logic is something like that. For file name, this file name is in this file name, for file name inside where OS dot from operating system list directory, but not from all of the directory. This directory would be from the folder. So what I am telling basically is that from this particular folder location, list directory, from this folder it would be fetching the file, and what it would be fetching, it would be fetching only if, so let me give a colon, and then it would be fetching only if the file name has an extension with, means ends with, and then within quotation we will be writing has an extension of .xlsx. So if it finds any file which has an extension ending with .xlsx, only then it would be taking that file. So after fetching that file, what it will be doing is that I need a variable to store the path. So os.path.join, and inside this I will be passing the folder and comma file name. So whatever within that folder, whatever file, so for file name means within this folder it is looping and it is fetching anything with .xlsx, it is fetching one by one, and then it is joining them inside this file. But this file variables has to be loaded. So workbook, inside that particular workbook, so inside our workbook, I need to create a variable. Inside this workbook I will be doing what? I will be using this openpyxl, and then I will be load workbook. Which workbook is to be loaded? This file. And inside this I need another one, values equal to this particular workbook dot active, so active, and then also cell, it will be taking an array of cells. Okay, fine, and dot value for cell in cells. So what this line does is that So already I have defined that sales means these cells, fetch these values from these, fetch the values, whatever the value are present in these cells for sale, and then workbook.active within the workbook.active cell, and I am taking it within these values and taking them one by one, and also I need to append this line. So output file which I had earlier, so I had output file, yeah, output file has the XLSX and the name of the sheet. So the sheet is something within which this has to be merged. So output sheet dot append this value. Okay, fine. So after this has been executed, so this will be within the for loop. So within the for loop I am taking one by one. So for the first file, folder file, all of those being are being merged. The first file is being loaded, and then that file, that particular file having an extension, the first file which it is getting from the iteration within this folder, that first file is being loaded within the workbook, and that workbook active cell I am taking the value, and from these cells are being stored within these values, and then it is within that output sheet it is being appending that values, and one by one when it is fetching those values, finally when that particular sheet has been finally when that sheet has been finally completed, I will be inserting that within that output workbook. So output workbook means this workbook, output workbook. So output workbook, so output workbook within this finally within the output workbook I will be saving this particular file. So which file to be saved? So output file. Okay, let me look into my code one more time. So output workbook is this one, output sheet is the sheet which is active, and then merge master is the sheet, and then within the output file, so within this output file, this is the file path within which this output workbook could be saved. Okay, so for file name in os.list directory, taking one by one, ends with XLSX, then file, it is taking two parameters, folder and the file name. So inside this folder I have this folder is inside this folder is the path where all of the Excel files are present. It is taking the file name one by one, and then it is loading the workbook, and within that file it is workbook. Within this workbook.active.cell, inside those cell those values are being written, and finally inside that sheet that values are being appended. So this is something like the program. If everything works fine, then a new sheet would be created within this folder having the name of merge master. Let's see if it works or not. So let me move into the terminal, move to my terminal, and let me run the query. So this Excel Python is present within Python programs. Okay, so I need to move it in cd Python programs. Fine. Now Python, and then to execute this particular script I need to write Excel and then Python and .py. Let me press enter. There will be some error, hopefully. Yeah. So str object has no attribute append. Okay. So str object line 23, there is a, okay, has no attribute append. Attribute str object has no attribute append. Okay, append values, output sheet. Okay, fine. Output sheet active, output sheet merge master. Okay, so there is some problem. So this output sheet is not merge master, its title is merge master. Now let me save the file and run the code one more time, and let's see what happens. It's still showing some error. Let me clear out the console and see what the error might be. What are the errors? Okay, so it's saying that Okay, I think I have init method and file mode io.open permission deny. So maybe my Excel file is opened. That's why it was not working. Let me clear out the console and run the file one more time, and okay, fine. So let me see mergemaster.xlsx. This file has been created, and this is merge master. And let me double click and see, here is the file. So if I am having sheets, several Excel sheets, those data, fetching those data, I am being able to concatenate all those data in a single Excel sheet. So this was all about my program. And open not pyxl, it's openpyxl. So that's all for this video tutorial. I'll be giving the GitHub link also. It will be a plain notepad file. So let me press Ctrl N, or maybe I'll be opening another notepad, and I'll be pushing this particular piece of code. So I don't need to clear out this thing. Let me copy this particular code. Ctrl A, Ctrl C, copy the following piece of code and paste it in here. And what I'll be doing is that I'll be saving this file, Ctrl S, and let me move to desktop. And within this there is something called Excel Python project, and I'll be naming it as Excel file merge using Python. So what I will be doing is that I will be posting pushing this particular Python code in my GitHub repo. You can download the code, take a look at it yourself, memorize it, or maybe try to remember, or the way you want to remember, digest it on your own, or maybe process it on your own, or how you can remember, how you can memorize the code, or how you can evaluate the code. And then you can move into any favorite of your ID, whichever ID you wish to use, whether Visual Studio Code or Komodo ID, or there are several IDs available out in the market. Whichever IDs you find suitable and whichever IDs you suits your needs, you can use that ID and practice it on your own to combine the Excel sheets. Later on I'll be developing some more projects, maybe importing data from MySQL database, or maybe this one is from the Excel. And my challenge could be something like this. I can work on a project out of my own, like how to combine data, or maybe pull data, fetch data from maybe Access database. So those are for my future projects, which I am not working on currently, but I will be working them later on. And if I find them something interesting or something to share with you, I'll be making a video of it and I will be posting it to YouTube. So I have checked that none of you post any comment or throw any likes or something like that. Basically commenting on a video or subscribing to my channel, or throwing some likes, it boosts my self motivation. It tells me that I am on the right track and I'm not deviated from my goal as a developer, or I'm doing something which is fruitful for you guys, and it basically boosts my self motivation. So at the end of all of my videos, I pledge to all of you that do comment, do throw likes, do share your views, that how you like the videos and what kind of videos you would like to view later on. So that's all. Let's not elongate this video anymore. So the gist of the topic, or the main topic has been covered. So the gibberish talk to extend this video any longer is of no need. There is no need to do all those stuff. So thank you all guys. Happy coding, and see you guys next time for some another video. Thank you all. Goodbye.